The IEEE Standard 1471 defines software architecture as the fundamental organization of a system embodied in its components. It also defines the relationships between components and to the environment. The software architecture establishes the principles guiding systems design and evolution. An architecture embodies information about components and their interaction, but omits information about components that does not pertain to their interaction. Thus, an architecture is foremost an abstraction of a system that suppresses details of components that do not affect the use, the relations and interactions of components. We analyze software architecture to ensure functional requirements are met. However, the architecture must also enable the system to satisfy non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirements examples are performance, failure resistance, reuse, understandability, cost, technological restrictions, aesthetic issues. Defining an architecture allows us to clearly establish roles, responsibilities, and relationships among the components of a system. Not having an architecture leads us to the real ball of mud anti-pattern. Systems lacking architecture are highly coupled, fragile, and difficult to modify, thereby reflecting a lack of vision and direction. Architectural patterns help define the application's basic characteristics and its behavior. Software architects must select the most suitable architecture for their application. Therefore, they need to be familiar with the characteristics of the various architectures. We have 6 evaluation criteria to measure an architecture. General agility, the ability to respond quickly to a changing environment. Ease of deployment, a measure of the ease of installing the application. Testability, a measure of the ease of testing the application. Performance, response speed and overload support. Scalability, the ability to maintain response times even as the load increases. Ease of development, a measure of how ease is adopting this architecture. The extent to which we can assess the architectural evaluation criteria is an indication of how well defined the architecture is.